Here tonight. Barry's ready to go, so let's stand and say the pledge and we'll get moving. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first off is our regular
Get smart, just switch the chairs.
meeting minutes for December of 2024, so I need a motion to accept and then a second.
Make a motion to approve and accept the meeting minutes from December of 2024.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? Those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried. General bills.
I audited the general funds. We ended with the 2024 funds, vouchers 321 through 360, totaling $15,945.55. Correct me if I make an error here. I've got quite a bit of paperwork in front of me. I'll move that one be accepted and paid as is.
Okay, we need a second.
A second.
Any other questions or? Okay, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
General funds for 2025, numbers 1 through 8, totaling $6,593.74. I'll move that they be accepted and paid as is also.
Second.
A second.
Sir, any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
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 Highway bills.
Okay, I audited the highway bills, for closing out 2024 at, voucher numbers 176 through 187. The total was $13,731.42. I move that the bills be, paid.
Second.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
For 2025, vouchers numbers 1 through 3, they totaled $16,872.82. There was one larger one, which I believe was the workman's comp, right? Is that what from this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So $14,599 was workman's comp, which that was a pretty big one, but everything else, pretty normal repairs. And I moved to pay vouchers number 1 through 3.
Second.
I'll second that.
Caleb. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I just want to point out that, our new highway superintendent's here. He's been here for about a week and he spent more than they did.
What's that?
I just pointed out, you only been in charge for a week and you spent more than they did,
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Oh, we talked about that.
But she had to spoil it and say it was workers' comp.
I wanted to point that out, that was why there was a big one in
I've been
there.
plowing, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Our monthly reports. Don't have a supervisor's report. We're still trying to close out 24. So we're not able to produce it with the holidays and everything coming up. So you gotta give me a little grace here on our supervisor's report, but the other ones are here. So we need a motion to accept and receive and file.
I'll make the motion to receive and file the chief's clerk and code reports.
Second?
I'll second it. Yep.
Okay, those in favor of receiving and filing the chief's clerk and the code report, say aye.
Aye.
Approved, okay. I'm gonna skip over privilege of the floor, because I wanna get Kyle up, our new highway superintendent, because he's been up very early, and I have a feeling he's gonna be up very early again tomorrow morning, so I'll let him give us a quick update, and then he can get on his way if he would like, he doesn't have to be here all night.
We've been doing a lot of plowing this week, but got some breakdowns. Some of this equipment hasn't been maintained. But we got a good group of guys, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to get stuff done. But, appreciate all the help and support. And, yeah, getting up there.
So right out of the gate, he cleaned out the office, let me clean out your
Yeah, they
office.
did that on the 1st at 4:00 in the morning. Yeah,
He's got a computer, we got time clocks.
Things have changed.
Yeah, in a couple of days, yeah, we're getting into the 21st century.
yeah, we're pretty much plowing. And then the guys get out of the truck, start working on equipment. Once they get stuff fixed up, we gotta go back out and plow. But,
You have vehicles in the shop right now?
yeah, I have to say, everything has been, we have a truck down there that's 18 years old. But moving forward, make sure we have a program, maintenance program.
Got it?
Yeah. So, good group of guys down there. They'll do whatever it takes.
That's nice.
Good attitude. We had a meeting. Mike came down, got everybody headed the right direction, and it's already been great. So, but yeah, getting up at 2 o'clock every morning. With, yeah.
You used to go to bed at that time, Kyle.
Yeah. Whatever's in the past. I'm almost 40, so.
Oh, jeez.
But, yeah, things are going good, so. Appreciate all the help.
Glad to hear it.
If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out, please. Anybody.
Got it.
We want to do a good job and do it right. So, but like I say, we got a lot to do.
Well, we're putting you right to the test, right from the
I
very
know,
beginning here, huh?
Perfect way to start.
Yeah, geez, we haven't had winter in 3 years.
Yeah, so,
We're due, I guess.
I guess we are.
yeah, right. So, and it's pretty common for stuff to break down this time of year. A lot of stuff, we could have it a lot worse. We have a lot of good equipment too. So,
Oh, nice.
but moving ahead, we're gonna, some of the problems we're having can be taken care of ahead of time.
Got it.
You know, there's stuff that hasn't been looked at or, so, fortunate. But, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, head on out. We
Wait till you
appreciate
get
you
home
coming.
if you would.
Yeah, appreciate it, yeah, no.
Every month, you know, we'd like to have you here, but we'll get you on first thing and that way you
Yeah,
can get out of here,
it.
because
If
we
you guys have
appreciate your
something
time.
you need me to, I'm new at this. I'm
Yep.
open ears and whatever you,
Just getting an update from you
Yeah.
is, to me, is very important, to let the board know.
you guys wanna stop down or take a ride in one of the plow trucks?
Kevin does, hey, there he goes.
I encourage you to do that stuff at these schools that I've been at.
He might talk you into letting him drive when you get on the sidewalk.
Don't do it.
You can see what we go through in the mornings and stuff, or
Yeah.
anytime, but it's,
I don't know if I want to get there at 2, but.
yeah.
3:30 one would be better for you, Barry.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's a good one.
PM.
But yeah, we're looking to do it right and, give it 100% one day at a time, so.
Got it.
Appreciate it.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Kyle.
Appreciate it, guys. I'm out.
Thanks, Kyle. All right.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, yep.
Have a good night.
You too.
We'll jump back up to the privilege of the floor. Martin?
I just want to take this opportunity to thank the board for installing the security, the surveillance cameras. I guess that's what that one item is on back there.
Wait, he's stealing all my
Not
thunder.
just to monitor the artifacts on the stage and the carpenter paintings, but I think we're in an age where it's good to monitor the building at large and the personnel that work here. So I think it's a wonderful thing you've done, and thank you. Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, that shines all the way down through, and then we put the other one down where it goes on to the court clerk's office for a little more security for them down at the next one, yeah. They just finished that, what day was that, Tuesday?
It's yesterday.
Yesterday, so they did a good job and got them in quick. Okay,
Mike, it's good to be here. It's good to see everybody. Just wanted to stop in and provide an update from the county legislature as to the goings-on in the golden rooftops of the county office building. It was a fairly productive year last year with the passing of the strategic plan. Just want to thank the town board for advocating that to the town of Homer residents. We received a lot of great input, and the plan is now approved by the legislature and is out there. So encourage anybody and everybody to go read it. This year, I will be serving on the Agriculture, Planning, and Environment Committee as vice chair. Very excited about that, as well as Health and Human Services and Highway Committee. Anticipating that there will be a lot of discussion about landfill, the future of the county landfill, as well as the continued pressure that the county faces from unfunded state initiatives that we continue to face, as well as upcoming sales tax issues, to which I would offer to you that any sales tax agreement that comes forward at the county level that would force higher taxes on the town of Homer residents, I remain staunchly opposed to. So just wanted to stop in. Good to see everybody, and thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Any questions for him?
As always, email, phone is out there. Any questions come up.
One thing I want to make sure is that us, the towns and the villages, that we are offered an opportunity to set at the seat on the sales tax and talks. I mean, I know we don't have any authority to negotiate, but it greatly impacts us. And Kevin, you guys started out last year and you didn't, but at the end you did include us, and we were able to stifle all of a sudden losing almost 100% of our sales tax money for one budget year. So I would just encourage that, at least keep us in the loop, you know, because
Absolutely.
a lot of our other supervisors and so forth do have some ideas that might be helpful to the county to, so it helps everybody.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Love to discuss with you further on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming tonight. Pat?
Something a little bit more fun than sales tax. The village ice rink, it's gonna be on the basketball court, and the way the weather's been, we should be good tomorrow. Just check our Facebook page. And then, a plug for Winterfest at the end of the month, the 24th through the 26th of January. That's it.
James, any questions for Pat?
Have they been skating yet, Pat, or tomorrow the
yet.
first day?
Yeah, tomorrow, if the rec director gives us the thumbs up,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be it.
Got it. Well, you've had the weather for it, haven't we?
Yes, we have. They were out flooding it. They've been doing it in layers, so
I see what you're saying.
should be good.
Did they even get to skate last year? I've kind of forgotten.
No, just it as soon as it froze enough, it warmed up and
Again, sure.
turned everything to slush.
Right.
So Mother Nature's been a little bit more cooperative this year.
I'm not sure if I love it, but I'm glad for the skaters.
Seems like that's a lot better location too, isn't it?
It's a lot flatter, and we had some issues with some minor vandalism, and having it within the courts, which is fenced in, we can kind of control access. So far, so good.
Good, hope it goes well. Okay, anybody else on the privilege of the floor? Yes.
Yeah. I just, a couple of nights ago, I just wanted to point out to the board, especially given the issues at hand, there were what they call, I've never seen this phenomenon before, but they call light pillars that you could see because it was so cold. It's like, apparently this happens when there's ice crystals in the air and the light, like, it makes columns, and if it weren't south when I saw it, I would have thought it was the Northern Lights.
Where was this?
This was up on Forbes Road where we live.
Huh.
So,
Song Mountain,
maybe.
Song Mountain.
Well,
Look
so
the other way, it was, if you looked behind you, it was Labrador.
no. So these are not from the ski resorts. It's like a natural phenomenon. It has to be really cold. stuff like that is, I mean, you all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about billboards, right? That's, stuff like that makes this area really special. And I just think we have to be really careful about the decisions that we make when we have things like that. That's all.
Anyone else on the privilege of the floor? Going once, going twice, all right, we're gonna move on. Organizational spreadsheet. Everybody got their copy? We do this every year. I've really been working hard on modernizing this and getting it honed down, guys. So we're gonna go through it and I'm gonna explain some of it. So you're gonna see the ones in the reds. They're the ones that we need approval on. Then you're gonna see the ones in the black. We used to vote on all these, but in reality, we do not need to vote on all these. And a lot of them are not need to be yearly appointments. So like the deputy supervisor, when I asked Barry Warren to continue on this year, and he agreed. But when you look at code, that's appointed by the supervisor. The board has no say in it. It's just like we used to appoint the deputy highway superintendent. The board has no say in that. We can appoint anybody we want. Highway superintendent said, no, I don't want that done. That's state law. So there's no sense in even, so I just took it off. You know, why do stuff that we don't have any authority to do or need to do? So I just taken some of the stuff off. The ones we need to approve is the town meeting dates. So they're gonna be monthly, the second Wednesday at 6:30 PM. Our official newspaper is gonna be the Portland Standard. That's yearly. The one above that is gonna be a yearly term. So I kinda made this spreadsheet so going forward, we know what's yearly, what's not yearly. Official depository of town funds, we use the First National Bank of Dryden. That needs to be approved yearly. The attorney for the town is Dan Ellis. That needs to be a yearly appointment because the salaries stuff change, but basically we approve the salaries when we adopt the budget. Environmental attorney, we kept Patrick Snyder on to help us if we have any environmental issues. That's yearly and as needed. I talked to Pat. He's already signed his contract. I sent him one to review and he signed it. He would like to stay on. But he did put in there, he wants the ability to pick and choose because he's starting to wind down some of his. He doesn't want to get into something that's going to drag out 2 or 3 years, which is understandable. We used them 2 or 3 hours total last year. It's just nice having them there. If Dan needs some help on something that he's not an expert in, he's under contract, we can just call him and get our advice. Okay. Then if you drop down to dog control officer, Lindsay Anderson, that one I don't believe we need to vote on because that's a salaried position. The budget officer, that's an automatic because I'm the supervisor. That's part of my duties as supervisor. So you'll see invest surplus funds. I guess I got an A on there when I shouldn't have, but anyways. That's an automatic. Town clerk and tax collector, that's Heather Hill. That's an appointed position. But the POTB, if you look at the bottom, according to state law, they serve at the pleasure of the board. They do not need to be appointed every year. So once they're appointed, the first time they serve at the pleasure of the board. State law, I can show it to you if you want. Same thing with Register of Vital Statistics, their deputy clerk, tax collector, all those positions, code enforcement officer, deputy code enforcement, fire inspector, and deputy fire inspector. They all serve at the pleasure of the board. They do not need to be oathed in every year. Once they're appointed, we have the ability, if we don't want them, we can terminate their services, but they can also give us a notice too. So we don't need to oath them in every year because our book is basically filled every year. We're just oathing all these people in, which in state law says we don't need to because they serve at the pleasure of the board. Okay? The other ones we need to approve. So planning board chairman, his term was up, Michael McMahon. I talked to him. He'll stay on for another 5 years if we want. It's a 5-year term. It's appointed by the board. And his term would be 25 through 29. So I did that over here too, so we had a better handle on what is going on. Planning board member, John Miller. He's been on there. He served 1 term. He'd like to stay on. 5-year term again, be 25 through 29. Our planning board alternate would be Lindsay Anderson. That's an appointed, again, by the board. That's a 2-year term. That's state, or that's not state law, that's Homer law that we put in effect 8 years ago, 10 years ago, which I'd forgotten about. So that's a 2-year. So my thought was, even though she was sworn in last year, let's swear her in for a 2-year term. Now we got to document it, 25 through 26. ZBA member, Stuart Young. He's agreed to stay on. There's a lot of history there. He did say, Mike, this will be the last time I'll be 81 when this term's up.
President.
What's that?
Go for president.
Oh, there you go. But he does a great job. He's a good member of that, and he's agreed to do it, another, unless you guys don't want him, and that's fine, we can find somebody else. ZBA alternative would be Lindsay Anderson, and again, she's agreed to stay on. 2-year term, same thing. Our planning board and ZBA chairman rate is $50. That's kind of an automatic if we approve them, that's budget approved. So when we build our budget, we've already approved the amount. But I thought I'd put it on there so everybody knows. Our planning board and ZBA member meeting rate, so if they attend the meeting, they get $30. Again, that's an automatic because it's part of our building budget. Mileage allowance for town officials per federal government allowance. That can change during the course of the year, I guess. Board of Assessment review rate, that's $125. That's an automatic. Again, when I say it's an automatic, they have to be appointed, but they've already been appointed. We approved them last year. And that's a 5-year term too, so that's a budget approval, but that's what they get, $125. Appoint, delegate to Association of Towns. Now, we've never had anybody take us up on that. So that's open if somebody on the board has a burning desire to be a delegate to the Association of Towns. You're welcome to. Our town historian is Martin Sweeney. And again, that position serves at the pleasure of the board. Once he's appointed, he's there till he says, I don't want to do it anymore, or I can't think of anybody that's better to do it, and I appreciate everything he does. Our town board salaries paid monthly. We just approved that, and that's yearly. We do that every year because you can change if you want to get paid every 2 weeks or we get paid monthly. The last thing we need to approve is a resolution to pay, that's our utilities, our comptroller, workers' compensation, health insurance, HSA, it's a misspelling on my part, sorry, and postage. That's in our prepays. These are what's legal under state law that we can prepay these. We can't prepay everything unless we're in a bind, but this is an automatic. So we were getting dinged sometimes because the way it comes out, and they want to start assessing interest. So we went to prepaid. Postage is on there, and that's legal too because we don't know how much postage is going to be. It seems like our demands are growing all the time. But again, we have a budget line. It gets approved. It's usually $1,000 at a shot, so it's all good, and then we all sign off on it later. So I'm making a motion to approve everything that's in red that I just went through as appointments and salaries and our attorneys and stuff. And I got the contracts here if you want to see it. Nothing's changed. Dan's agreed to stay on. His salary went up $600 for the year. Pat stayed the same. So we're pretty much in the same place. So I'll make the motion to accept everyone that's in red, the ones I just read off. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. So like I'm saying, with this here, I'm trying to build a master sheet, and we'll get with the girls here too, and that way going forward, no matter who's the supervisor, anybody can look at this, and it's an automatic. Because it took me a while. We had it used to be 2 columns here, and a lot of them, because it was okay 30 years ago, we just don't need to do it. They're automatics, or we don't have any authority to do it. So I'm just trying to streamline where we can.
It's helpful, thank you, Mike.
What's that?
It's helpful, thank you.
Yep. Okay, so like I said, we got the, Kyle jumped right in, got his office cleaned out, really looks good over there. We got time clock, it's not fully operational, they come in and hooked it up, we got some work to do here in the office. Some of what the clerks have to do is program the, key cards and stuff, then they'll come back down and we'll have that up and running very shortly. He's got a computer in there, and so he's in great shape. The next one is our, 2025 resolution, and I'm gonna let Kevin handle this one.
Annually, every year for the Tompkins County Health Consortium, we have to reapply for a municipal cooperative agreement based on the state, Department of State. As you know, the last few years, we've been doing 2s and 3s because they're either getting rejected from the state or they've changed the rules and regulations. So what you have in front of you this year is the one for 2025, and there was a bit of confusion earlier in the evening here about the second resolution that's in there, which I did not get on my notes from the board, so you guys may have gotten something different. So I only had the original page 1 and page 2, but after reading this second one, I'm gonna just say we'll do it under a second resolution because I really don't wanna have them come back and do it again, even though my stuff doesn't show it.
Right.
All right, there might have been something else. So anyways, with any questions or whatever, I'll just make a motion that we authorize the 2025 municipal cooperative agreement for the Greater Tompkins County Municipal Health Insurance Consortium. Authorize the supervisor to sign it.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion, any questions for Kevin on this? Okay, so those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay.
And just a follow-up resolution, I'll make a motion that we accept membership in the Greater Tompkins County Municipal Health Insurance Consortium for the year 2025.
I'll second.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on that one? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Thank you. I'm gonna go off track, off the agenda just a little bit here. So, I met with the chief of police yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we talked about this once before. It was months ago. Upstairs in our balcony, we did quite a lot of renovation up there. Cleaned it out and made a flat surface for storage and stuff. Now, he talked to us once before. They want to build a little simulation room up there. And where it would go, I hope you can kind of understand. I just did a real quick sketch. So this is a stair. So if you go up, you're going to go up these stairs here, you go up here, and then there's a jog out here, and then the balcony comes around here. Okay. So they want to build a little simulation room for training right in here. So the village would have storage on this side. That was our initial thought. And the town of Homer have storage on this side. The drawback is that they won't be able to walk through here, and we got a catwalk that goes here to go down to the utilities. So when I was talking to the chief, they will, and this is gonna be at the village's expense. They'll just extend a catwalk to come over here, so that way they can go on there if we need to get over there to adjust the utilities and stuff. So this is something the chief would like to do. They're gonna put a door in each end. It's gotta be dark. It's for some kind of a simulation training. Do you know any more about that, Pat, than I do?
Yes.
Could you explain a little more?
It is a, sort of like a video game, but it's a small arms simulator where you actually use the actual weapon, but it's got like a laser insert, depending upon which model he has, I'm not sure. But it shows a movie projection on the wall, which is why it has to be dark in there so that the movie projection can show up. And you can train on multiple scenarios in there. So it's a great tool for the police department.
It makes great use of the space. Now, I did put the emphasis on the chief. I said, you need to do all the homework. So we talked to Kevin, our code enforcement. Kevin said he didn't have an issue with it because there's very limited access. We got two means of egress up there, upstairs on both sides. The only thing that Kevin wanted to do, if they were gonna do a room up there, I think is reinforce the floor a little more, just put another layer of plywood on. Other than that, it's a great space.
Mhm.
It needs to be used somehow, and maybe, you know, we talked about offices or something in there, but that's gonna be 20, I guess, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. So we would make that a usable space, and we still have our storage.
Mhm.
So is the board good with that, if they wanna pursue moving forward with that? It's not any cost to us, the village will take care of the costs, and they're gonna build it in-house is what the cheapest thing can be. Very minimal, it's gonna be
Gonna
just
be
a plywood.
heated? Gonna put a heater in there of some sort?
They may if it gets too chilly up there. Well, we were up there the other day when it was like 10 and 12 out, and it was
Wasn't too
probably
bad?
45, 50 at least up there.
Oh, it's all right.
I mean, the heat rises up through
Sure.
there, so. But that's what he said, if they need to heat it, or if they need to do something, put a
Up to
fan
them.
up there for the, you know, there is electricity out there. They don't need a lot of power or anything, so it's gonna be very minimal. They need light, they need a little bit of power to run the computer simulator.
I'd say the space is not being used right now, to be honest with you. I have no objections, my opinion.
Okay. Could you make a motion to that, and then we'll just have it official that they're fine to go ahead and proceed, just,
I'll make that motion that we allow them to, at their own expense, put in the simulator that they need.
second on that?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Will you convey that to the
I will.
chief? Thank you. Martin stole my thunder on the security cameras, but they're in, they did a good job, and, we're good to go on that. Next page, comprehensive plan. Months and months ago, we filed for the comprehensive plan. Unfortunately, we were turned down. Dear Supervisor Park, thank you for applying through the 2024 Consolidated Funding Application for funding made available by the New York State Department of State under the Environmental Protection Fund, Smart Growth Community Planning and Zoning Program. Department of State has completed its review of your application, and unfortunately, your application was not selected for funding under the CFA solicitation. Total requests for assistance greatly exceeded the amount of funding available, and we regret we are unable to fund all worthwhile applications received. This does not pertain to potential funding awards from other agencies or programs, and does not preclude you from applying for future CFA funding rounds. While funding decisions are final, an opportunity to be debriefed is available to all unsuccessful applications upon request. Request must be made in writing 15 business days of receipt of this letter. If you would like to schedule a debriefing on your application, please send an email with the subject line SGCP debriefing, which I did. I want to get debriefed on why we didn't get it, so and then we got to figure out what we're going to do. I want to see what they're going to say. I'm waiting for a call back from Rich Cunningham. He was our contact at Toma, and talk to him about it and see where we want to go in the future. Do we apply again? That's going to be another year before we know. Or do we want to think of a different route? So I don't think we're in a bind yet, but with Micron coming in and the world changing, our comprehensive plan doesn't need updating. So, but I'll have more information next month on that. So I just want to let you know, unfortunately, we didn't get it.
Can I just piggyback on that real
Yeah.
quick? Would it be worth giving Mannion's office a call out of Syracuse? He's our rep up down there now, because they're all messing around with all that 81 change and everything like that. Just to reach out and say, hey, you know, we're in the line of expansion or whatever it is.
Yeah, let's
Could
talk
possibly
tomorrow on
happen.
that. Yeah, that's a good idea. No, I never
Okay.
thought of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Just, and if they say no, great. If not, just, you know, other than the consolidated funding.
Because we are definitely going to be becoming a bedroom community here in Cortland County. I know that's why the county's been working on their comprehensive plan, because it's coming. It's coming. There's potential for business growth and everything else to support that up there. If they claim all the funding's up there, so if that actually goes through, it's going to be a driving indicator. Okay, clerk's report.
We started taxes. It is coming in like a lion, which is nice, because usually when it comes in hard in January, it softly exits. We do have some good news. There was an email that came in, I want to say in October. And we get a lot of, spam, a lot of junk that comes in just telling us about deals or take the survey and so on and so forth. But we had a specific email come in from PERMA, and they said, fill out this short survey and win our holiday special of a 55-inch flat screen TV and a brand new laptop. So Brooke and I kind of cheekily made the comment, sure, let's do the survey. Well, 2 months later, we found out we won both. So,
Is that Burma the country or?
yeah. So we still need to write the thank you letter. It's on our to-do list. The TV did arrive. It's in Mike's office. It's a 55-inch Samsung.
I had a fighter for it. She went into the
And we did get we won the laptop as well. It just hasn't made its way here yet.
That's
but
awesome.
we do plan on letting Donna in the office use that, because the laptop that she has right now, I think, has been passed down and passed down and passed down. So it's very, very slow.
We might not get much work out of Mike now, he's got a 55-inch.
So that was fun. We were hooting and hollering when we got this letter that we gave it to you guys. It's the one that says PERMA on it.
Happiest I ever seen him when I walked in. I'm glad to see me.
And it was, I think we actually got this the day before Christmas Eve. So it kind of felt like
Probably the only people that filled
we
out
were like,
the survey.
we're not gonna get this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bad survey. It took me, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, and it was like 8
I gotta stop
questions.
junking my surveys.
So,
Maybe I need to
right?
read them through. I definitely check mine.
I think it's fun too when you make a joke about it and then you actually
and then
do
you get
win
it,
it.
yeah.
You're like, oh, that was rude. Like,
Congratulations.
thank you.
So the plan is for the 55-inch TV, we as a town don't do a lot of Zooming, but there's a lot of other groups that do Zooming. The village uses Zoom constantly. There's groups that come in here and want to use it constantly. So my thought was that we'll get a bracket that we can mount on that wall, so when they're zooming, they can put it over that window, because that seems to be the direction everybody wants to zoom. And then when they're not doing it, fold it back over, so we're not blocking these nice windows and stuff.
Mhm.
So that was my thought, and so we're gonna look into that a little more and I wanted to talk with Pat and Dan on that too, because every meeting they Zoom. We're not doing that so much, but who knows what the future's gonna bring. We had a bigger TV and it broke, so the village did buy a smaller TV, but it would be nice to get another one, I think, up on the wall.
Yeah.
And I was thinking in that corner there, but again, we'll have to talk that, if that is the best spot or not. If you guys are okay with that, but I mean, there's a free TV, we'll have to buy I don't know, those brackets are only, what, $40-50 to mount on, and where you can swing them and come back.
Sure. Good idea.
The computer, I said, well, geez, we just bought a computer and stuff, but Donna's computer that she's using is quite old. And I just got a shock too the other day is Windows 11 is coming in, so everybody's computers are pretty much gonna be defunct. I gotta replace 6 computers in my office because they won't run the new, so she has an older computer, so that'll go to her. And it'll be a laptop on the desk. I mean, when I say go to her, it'll be for her use. It'll still be village or town property.
Mhm.
So the timing was right for that. I mean, to get a new computer. Their computers, fortunately, are only a couple of years old, so they should have the horsepower to run it. But a lot of these older computers, I was just shocked to hear that. This is junk. This is going to be junk. This is going to be junk.
Wow.
There's computers at our office start running slower and slower. He said that's why they're not going to support Windows 10. So that's coming up. So the world's going to be in shock in October or so when Windows 10 doesn't work anymore. Yes.
Quick question, do we need to authorize a sign off or a receipt and release on this, or do they just send us everything, guys?
They just sent us. They're going to write them a letter.
Okay, I understand the thank you letter, but here it's like, it looks, the terms are contingent upon willingness to consider, if offered, a 2-year membership agreement, which policy or premium. and not incurring any arrears and compliant with all terms and conditions. So if there's no signature, I guess I don't care. But it is something, were they gonna sit there and make you listen to a pitch or something, or how's it work?
I don't know, I didn't see anything where I had to sign
You
anything.
know, on the second page, they signed it, the director of risk management, but there was nothing for Mike or us to sign.
I'm not gonna be too concerned about it if there's no signatures or anything, because, like I say, we're already in year one of PERMA, and I think we rebid, or we look at it every 2 or 3 years anyway, so I'm not gonna be too concerned about it, as long as you don't gotta sign anything. you're
Nope.
fine. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Martin, you're up next.
I'm just here to answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, so,
Whether they're gonna vote for the expenditure of the fund for Westlake to work on the 2 portraits that I mentioned before. You should have the documents.
yep, in your packets, everybody has the documents, and we talked about this back in, I think it was November?
November.
And I said we did, because we already spent our money for the year for that, so he got us updated prices, so the gentleman here, not Francis, who's the gentleman in the picture?
Well, Gideon
Hobart.
is the portrait that would just have plexiglass done. And,
For $650.
well, I guess that also includes something to do with the frame, because basically we're taking the portrait apart. Again, they already did it once to analyze, now they're gonna take it apart in order to install the plexiglass. Which seems a little pricey to me, but they're dealing with something that's rather delicate.
Right, it says
Then
minimum
the other price.
frame conservation with Optimum Museum added, whatever that
The
means.
Optimum Museum, that's the plexiglass.
Okay,
It's museum grade. So it's a more expensive type of plexiglass than just plexiglass.
so it's $650 to do that one, and then the other one,
So that's the portrait of Electa Hobart, and that's more expensive because we're doing the works. We're having done to, that portrait would have been done to the other portrait back in 1996 before it became our property. The full conservation.
and that's for a price of $2,890.20. But that includes the plexiglass on that one, or the better, it's not plexiglass, the better grade. Okay. Questions on that, guys, thoughts, and then if,
They need a down payment of half the amount for each
Yep.
of those when it's delivered. Whenever I do that, it's on your authorization.
any questions on that, are we good to move forward with it? The paintings are hanging right up in the hallway out there, Martin had them put them up high so nobody could touch them. Thoughts, questions, need a motion?
It shows here that we have it says a customer agreed value on the painting itself was $1,500, am I correct on?
That's what I gave them based upon my research.
And, once again, they're asking for $2,028.90. Do you feel this is a worthwhile investment?
Well, that's going to increase the value up from 50.
I see what you're saying, so it's just gonna add to it when they get done.
Absolutely.
Got it.
It's funny how they price paintings, I mean, because these are, in one sense, they're priceless artifacts, you're never gonna,
You know,
I mean, these were painted 150 years ago, you're never gonna replace it.
There aren't anymore.
Right.
So we're
Are there more?
preserving for the future.
Are there more paintings?
by Carpenter,
Yeah,
there's probably 400 out there in the world.
that many.
Don't get nervous, I'm not trying to bring them all in.
We don't have enough money for that.
I haven't been hunting for them, but I mean, I do watch online, because you never know what's gonna come up, but in these 2 cases out here, I didn't find them, they found us.
Yeah.
And we're donated, the last 2 were donated.
Whatever
Kevin,
pleasure of the-
thoughts?
No, we have a long history on this. I would support doing this.
We did budget it, we have the money in the budget for it.
I know, yeah, we got it. I'm fine with it.
Somebody make a motion then?
I'll make a
Kevin?
motion.
What's that?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
make the motion to, go ahead with the project of, having Westlake Art Conservation Center make the repairs on the two Hobart paintings.
Second?
For a sum total of,
$650 and
2890.2.
650.2. I'll second.
second. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I think we're lucky to have possession of these paintings, and,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I doubt if they're ever gonna go down in value. I would think if anything, increase. Not that we're gonna sell them, but what a nice collector's item we have.
So then what I will do is when I think driving conditions are good, I will drive the skinny hours with them. I'll give Heather heads up so that she can, I guess, give me a check that covers half the amount, the sum thereof.
Yep.
For me to get the ball rolling, and it could take 2 to 5 months for them to do this. We have to get in a queue and other paintings, artifacts are being done there.
They will write the check in the next week and we'll get it signed. That way you can have them when the weather's good and you wanna take them. That way you can just go.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
Kyle can give you a ride. Maybe Kyle can bring you to Skinny Alice.
Snowplow.
And then maybe he'll let me drive.
Yeah, there we go. Evan will take you.
I think we got a cruise.
We got 4-door. Better insure the paintings.
I know, really.
A few more things to get through. Our town hall building drawings. This has become a huge fiasco for me. They promised us, we started this back in '23, we were gonna have them to go out to a winter bid in '24. I've been after them, I call them monthly, I text them, I email them. We met with them here back in September, oh yeah, we're gonna get them right done, and now we're not gonna get them till spring. I wanna do a winter bill, because we're gonna come in the spring, with Trump coming into office and everything's changing, the economy, I mean, all our suppliers are already telling us to where things had slowed down a little bit, now all of a sudden, the huge elections are over. I don't know if it's a Trump effect or what, our elections are over, construction is picking up. Is it gonna be ideal time for us to go to bid? Probably not, but we'll see.
Is there a time frame on the contract?
No, I reread it, and when that
Breach
was
of
wrote, there
contract
wasn't a time frame. I'm very sorry that wasn't included on there.
Who would have thought you'd had to have it, but lesson learned on that one.
Boy, oh boy, did they drag this out, I'll tell you. I'm very disappointed, and this is, a reputable company, but anyway, so now we're gonna be in the spring, and it's too late to pull the contract, because we've already paid them a bunch of money. We pull the contract, you go back to square one. So we're not gonna gain anything, but if we don't start getting some results pretty soon, I'm gonna have Dan write them a letter. We need to get this finished up, I mean, we really do. We need to get the police department down here, we need to get it out to bid, and then just make this into our community building. I mean, we put the senior citizens on hold, they got rid of a lot of their, kitchen appliances and stuff, because we thought this was gonna be under construction right now. All right, so we're gonna move on. Our court audit, for 2024, we need to do a court audit. Now, I'm gonna lean on Kevin and Caleb a little bit. You guys did it last year, are you up to doing it again? Or would you rather not? You want us to go a different route? I'm not saying you have to do it, I'm asking. Okay. In front of spectators, no. Okay, Caleb.
It's already time for that.
What's that?
We just finished it.
Didn't we just do that?
8 months ago, 9 months ago.
Was it really that long?
Yeah.
Oh, small.
Your son's in college.
I can't say I enjoyed it, but I learned a lot. I'll do it again.
Are you guys up to it? I mean, one year we were able to find I forget who the lady was, and she did, it was an outside source, but we haven't had that luck lately.
No.
You guys are up to doing it?
I'll book it.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You can make it a 3.
There's plenty of room down
Or a
there.
4, Sarah. You're invited too.
Three's a crowd, three's a crowd.
I need Barry, so Barry isn't off the hook here, but I need Barry to take a look at, Dan's door down here on he's having issues with that again, Barry.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if we need to talk to Brett Stevens or somebody, get a new frame made. Could you take a look at it? When you, at your convenience, the door's not,
Sure.
but he's having issues. I think he ripped his shirt on it or something.
Something that catches, something sticks
Yeah,
out.
isn't that what you told me? You
It's
guys
the
gave me
female piece that's on the frame, it sticks out
too far.
too
I'd be
far.
glad to.
And his IT guy caught it the other week too.
Okay.
So whenever you get time, could you take a look at it? And if you think we need to get somebody in here to do something, let's look at it.
I'll see what's going on, see what if I can, I'm MacGyver.
Okay.
I can MacGyver.
So there, guys, you feel better now? And Sarah, I need you guys to help.
We're working on QuickBooks.
There you go. That's what we need. So, okay. All right. So the last, one of the last ones on here is the opera money that, if you remember what that was, and last month we were scrambling. I guess we got it under control. We've got the paperwork done, so we got our fingers on our toes crossed. We're not gonna lose $319,000. A lot of municipalities are, because it had to be under contract. And then the original thought was this money was set aside to do the remodeling. And of course, we can't go to contract because we don't have drawings. But we read it over, Dan's help, Colin's help, and everybody, that we could encumber it on some bridge repairs and stuff with contracts, and we could go backwards so for money that we had already had spent. So we're just moving money around so we're not losing it, and we still have the money set aside. I mean, this project's probably gonna be $1 million, $1.2 million, my guess. That's could be 1/3 of the cost. So, there was some sleepless nights trying to get this pulled out. I didn't wanna lose this money for the town. So,
Good job.
it looks like right now, I think we're good.
Very good.
Good job.
Very good.
So Dan, do you have any updates?
No, I'm good. We've
Okay.
got a few, planning board applications coming through, 2 or 3 of them. So the planning board will be busy this month, but, otherwise quiet.
So Kevin, we'll get Kevin here next month, and one of the things that always comes up every couple of years, do we wanna change our fees on anything? We haven't since 2008. I'm not saying we should, I'm not saying we shouldn't. So I think we owe it to Kevin and everybody just to review that. I mean, it's not a moneymaker for us, and I don't think it was ever intended to be a moneymaker. It's just so people apply. But I know that's always something that's on Kevin's mind, because we're a lot lower than the other municipalities. But again,
Could we entertain maybe,
what's that?
could we entertain maybe getting rid of the fees?
It's open to discussion, that's what I'm saying. So in the next month or so, I'll bring the fee schedule that we have, and we can explore it. Because we want to encourage growth here in Homer, I think, not stifle it. So, with that, I want to go into executive session, so I need a motion to go into executive session for personnel issue.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.